Welcome, dear students, to today's episode on the Terabyte series Past Questions and Answers. My name is Sebru, and on today's episode, I will be taking you through the past candidate Wassce paper of 2015 on elective ICT. So I'm going to pull out the question paper, and here we go. So we have past candidates Wassce 2015 practical. And our first question, which we will be tackling in this video, is an HTML question for 15 marks. The question is made up of an A, B, and a C part going for 15 marks. But before we delve into our question, one important thing that we must always remember is to create a folder where we'll be housing all our solutions from the exam question paper. So as you can see, I've created a folder. The name is Sebru, and then it has my index number. I created this folder in the previous tutorial for the students Wassce, but I'm going to show you how to do it again. So you come to your desktop or document, wherever you're saving the folder, you right click, you click on new, and then you click on folder. Then you go ahead to type your name and then your index number. This is very important because this is where you'll be storing every single solution that you generate from the questions that you would be given. Everything goes into this folder. So now back to our question sheet. Now our question says, with the help of an appropriate text editor, create the HTML codes to produce the page below. Now, once again, this outline we see is supposed to represent our browser, meaning what we are actually being asked to write a code from is the content of this browser. So we have the capital city of Greater Accra region is colon, Accra, Tema, and Kumasi. Now, the first thing you will note is that the bullet used in this case, or the list type used in this case, is an unordered list, right? Is an unordered list, but the bullet type is a circle. Typically, an unordered list gives you a black dot as its bullet, right? But in this case, we have a circle. So what you call a black dot or a disk as its bullet type. But in this case, we have a circle. That means in creating our HTML code, we are going to specify that instead of the default disk type of bullet that we get, we want to have what? A circle. So you're going to dive straight into our text editor to be able to create this page writing the right HTML codes. So I'm going to go ahead and open Notepad. You can go ahead and open Notepad on your machine also. So we have a fresh Notepad sheet. Next, I'm going to split my page so that we can have access to both the Notepad and our question in focus. Fantastic. So we are going to go ahead and create our basic HTML structure. So we have, and then we're going to close it as usual. Then in our HTML, we're going to have a head. And we're going to close our head. Then we're going to have a body. Then we are going to close our body. As always, anytime you open a tag, you have to close it. Now, question 1A is asking us to create this list. Now, this list is going to go into the body section of our table. So you're going to say the capital city of Greater Accra region is. Now, this preamble, we can create it using either a paragraph or a heading. When we use a heading, we are going to get a bold version of the preamble. And when we use a paragraph, we're just going to get a text version that is not boldened. So I'm going to use a paragraph here. And we are going to have the capital city of Greater Accra region is. And then we're going to have a colon. Now we're going to close our tag. So that is our paragraph, right? The next, we are going to create our unordered list, right? Now, as you know, we are going to close it. And then our list is going to be housed within this tag of unordered list. So our first list, li. Okay, let me keep I've been using capitals throughout. It doesn't really matter, but I want to be consistent. Okay, fantastic. So we have li. First one is Accra. We close the tag. Then we can just copy this and paste it 2 more times so that we are able to go quickly. Fantastic. So we're going to change this to Tema. We're going to change this to Kumasi. Awesome. Okay, now, as we discussed before we began our solution, we mentioned that the bullet type by default is a disk, but in this question, we're given circles. So before we change the bullet type, I want us to go ahead and save and run this and then see what it gives us. Now, let's scroll down and see what the question requires us to save the file name as. It says radio HTML. So we're going to save this as, radio all caps .html. I'm going to change this to all files. And you're going to save. Now we are going to run this and see what it gives us. So radio. Okay, so we have the capital city of Greater Accra region is Accra, Tema, and Kumasi. Now you see by default, we've gotten disk, a black disk, as our bulletin type. Now we are going to go ahead and let our solution mirror the question that we're given. So we're going to go into the ordered list and we are going to create the list type that we want. The attribute that we are going to use to achieve this is called style. So style equals bracket open list dash style dash type. The kind of list style type that we want is circle. Then we're going to close these quotations and we are going to run this now. So we're going to have to just save it because we've already saved it before. And we are going to refresh this. Now you would notice that immediately what happened? Our disk has changed to a circle. So we have solved the A part of our question. Now the B part says set the title of the page to your full name and index number. Now we all know that title belongs in the head. So we're going to go ahead and create the title tag. And as usual, we're going to close it. Okay, and our title is our full name. As usual, say brew 10223223. Right, okay, so I've just created an index number for myself. I'm going ahead to save this and then let's run it and see what happens. Now you notice that the title space here says ready.html, but now that we've changed the code and we've saved it, if we refresh, it now says brew 1023223231. By doing this, we have answered the B part of our question But the B part of our question has an extra part which says the program codes must be properly indented. So we are going to simply do that. Okay. Okay, I think we are done. This looks properly indented. Then we are going to save our work finally. And the last bit which says that save the file as ready.html in the folder created. We've already done that. So we are done with our HTML question for the past candidate Wassce exam 2015. Thank you for joining me, guys. Go ahead and try your hand on the solution and let me see what you got.